What's happening, you guys? I'm Rel2G, and this is my season preview of the 2013-2014 NFL season. I'm just going to give you my breakdown as to which teams is going to be on top and who's going to be flat out last for the season to even begin in both the NFC and the AFC conference. I'm also going to give you my MVP for this season and my two teams to be Super Bowl contenders. Let's get down to business. Starting with the NFC East, the Eagles, the Redskins, the Cowboys, and the Giants. My first NFC East team will be the Dallas Cowboys. If Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, and the rest of that offensive crew for the Cowboys get their heads on straight, I think the Cowboys are going to be making more noise than ever before. If Romo don't start getting his act together, if he can just think as a quarterback and stop throwing wildly and getting sacked for losses and fumbles, Cowboys are not going to be much of a team this year. But I think right now the Cowboys is a threat. The Redskins at this point, if Robert Griffin III's knee kind of continues to keep him stable and not get injured, because I think right now RG3 is going to be an injured-prone quarterback. Like the likes of Michael Vick, just like the likes of Donovan McNabb, I really think the Redskins don't have a chance if Griffin is not able to stay healthy in the NFC East. The Giants right now, I think their window of opportunity is starting to really close in on them. Eli Manning definitely has to get his team back. And also, Victor Cruz got to really start making catches for when it counts with the help of Eli Manning. And also, Mike Patterson is one of the new offensive line for the Giants, which, by the way, he came from the Philadelphia Eagles. John Coughlin could definitely be on his last strings with the Giants in this particular season. The Eagles are going to be a sleeping team for the NFC East. Make some noise. Don't be surprised if they either be the second or third team in the NFC. And still, I got the Eagles making the playoffs. Yes, count the Eagles will make the playoffs. The Eagles offense is going to be scoring more points than they have done all of last season. Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Jason Devine, and Riley Cooper, they will make this offense gel this season. The only thing I'm worried about is the defense. It's much better than it was last year, but I still question Billy Davis as the defensive coordinator. So we just have to wait and see. He might open up eyes. I don't know. I know right now the offense I'm good with. It's just the defense is kind of scaring me. But I think it's going to be the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Redskins, and I think the Giants will fall into that last place spot for the NFC East. NFC North, the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers. Right now, I have the Packers leading the way. Jordy, of course, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, and a few others. The Detroit Lions with Reggie Bush. Matthew Stafford can definitely make more noise for this Detroit Lions offense. And don't forget Megatron, Calvin Johnson. He might get more touchdown passes. We just have to wait and see. Don't forget Ndamukong Suh. If he can just play the game like he's supposed to play and not try to be the villain of this Detroit Lions defense, they may go a long way. Adrian Peterson could be the only reason the Vikings still remain in the top 2 or top 3, but I think they're not going to emerge as the number 1 team in the NFC North. And the Chicago Bears, Brian Urlacher, no longer a defensive guy. He's retired. Jay Cutler, he's a confused quarterback. He don't know who to throw to or what's going to happen with him. I think he's going to have an unpredictable year. But if he can get Brandon Marshall to gel with him, the Bears may end up being number 2 behind the Green Bay Packers at this point. Packers number 1 for the North. The NFC South consists of the Buccaneers, Falcons, the Panthers, and the Saints. With the return of Sean Payton as the coach of the New Orleans Saints, I think they're going to have a run with the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan and Mike Brown, of course, who are your defending NFC South champions. Right now, it's going to boil down between both of these two for number 1 and number 2, respectively. They play, of course, on Sunday afternoon. The Buccaneers, they may make a little noise with Darrelle Revis playing against his former team, the Jets, and the Bucs playing this weekend as well. Carolina, Cam Newton and Stephen Smith and a few others, I don't think they're going to be much of contenders at all. But I'm going to say it's going to be the Saints, the Falcons, the Buccaneers, and maybe even the Panthers down there in that bottom of that pack. And the NFC West is the Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams. It's going to boil down between the 49ers and Seahawks, who could be the number 1 and number 2 team, respectively. The Cardinals with Carson Palmer, they'll win more games than what they should have last year. Even with Kevin Cobb with the Cardinals last season, the Cardinals is definitely not going to be contenders in the NFC West. The Rams, no way. I have them either third or fourth along with the Cardinals. So I think the 49ers and the Seahawks could either be first and second overall in the AFC. And don't forget, Colin Kaepernick and the rest of the crew for the 49ers, Manningham, and of course, Michael Crabtree, who is injured, may not play for a few games. Nnamdi Asomugha, he may step it up, but he better not be the best cornerback for that NFC West division, because if he is, he paid the Eagles for giving him all that money, and he ain't done absolutely shit for the Eagles for the last 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens. But respectively, 49ers and the Seahawks are my top 2 in the NFC West. And the bottom could be the Cardinals and the Rams. The AFC East has the Jets, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Right now, the Patriots can run away with the AFC East. Tom Brady and company. Right behind them could be the Miami Dolphins. I don't see the Jets or the Bills even being contenders because Geno Smith, the rookie, he's going to be really throwing wild, and I think the Jets will probably be on fire because Rex Ryan is likely going to be a goner before the end of the season. So with Mark Sanchez hurting and they're getting Brady Quinn, I don't know if the Jets are going to be contenders in the AFC West, the AFC East. So I'm going to go with the Patriots to lead the charge in the AFC East. And right around there is the Dolphins, and the Bills and Jets could end up being third and fourth, respectively. The AFC North, the Ravens, the Browns, Steelers, and the Bengals. Right now, your defending Super Bowl champion Ravens could still lead the way in the North, but the Browns are starting to wake up a little bit, and I think they could be contenders along with the Ravens in the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers window is starting to close on them a little bit. They're becoming an old football team, and they've got a lot of injuries. There could be some trouble for them, but I think week 1 will be a revenge game for them. So after that, I don't know what else to tell you. The Bengals could make some noise as well with, Dalton, their quarterback, definitely going to make some noise. So right now, I think it's going to be the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers may end up being last in the AFC North. The AFC South, the Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and Titans. Right now, Andrew Luck and the Colts could be battling with Matt Schaub and the Houston Texans. And don't forget Arian Foster. Definitely a big threat in the running game for this Houston Texans team. Right now, the Colts, I really believe, with the return of their coach for the full season, will definitely will be contenders in the AFC South. And I think the Texans will be second, respectively. The bottom 2 could be either the Titans or the Jaguars. Jake Locker, I don't think is going to be that quarterback for this Titans team. Sorry, James Carter. But your Titans may be third and fourth, respectively, in the South. So I think the Colts are going to really take it along with the Texans. So it's going to be Colts and Texans to be your top 2 teams in the AFC South. And in the AFC West, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, and Chiefs. Right now, it's going to be the Broncos leading the way. Right behind them is the Chiefs. Maybe this Andy Reid West Coast offense may start waking up, because the Chiefs was a shitty team just as well last season. I think Andy Reid has waken up with Alex Smith being a quarterback, And from what I understand, their West Coast offense is really clicking, but we just have to wait and see what happens. Could Andy Reid turn this Chiefs team around? He could lead them to the playoffs, and the Eagles don't want to see that happen. But hell, it is what it is. But it's all about who wants it more. I think the Chargers are going to be bound to, along with the Oakland Raiders, two shitty teams, and I think with North Turner no longer coaching the Chargers, Phillip Rivers is becoming a bit of an old quarterback, so I think this could be his last season. And Manti Te'o injured. He's not even going to play this week for the Raiders. Terrell Pryor, he probably be making his debut with the Raiders. I don't think he's going to get that team to the promised land either. They're rebuilding. I think right now, the Broncos and the Chiefs could lead both teams in the AFC West. We'll just have to wait and see how the season goes on. The top three worst teams in the NFC division this year could be the St. Louis Rams, maybe even the New York Giants, and possibly the Arizona Cardinals. And for the AFC, my top three worst teams will be the Jets, unfortunately, San Diego Chargers, and maybe even the Jacksonville Jaguars. My MVP for the NFC is going to be between Colin Kaepernick and, of course, Aaron Rodgers. I just see that if he throws more touchdown passes, I think Rodgers will do it again. Even if Colin Kaepernick can just get on the ball with his young self, he definitely can really put a threat with Aaron Rodgers in the quarterback department. Now, Russell Wilson, don't count him out. If he just had that great game, great season like he did, and he stays healthy and just keep running and passing, I think he could be among the MVP for the NFC. And don't count out Robert Griffin III, because if his knees can only lead him and remain healthy, he might start becoming an emergence in the MVP department. So I think right now, Aaron Rodgers and Colin Kaepernick would definitely be likely your MVPs for the NFC. For the AFC right now, Tom Brady and maybe even Peyton Manning at this particular point, there's nothing more to be said. I don't see nobody else in the AFC, being this MVP, but don't count out Alex Smith, and definitely don't count out another AFC of Joe Flacco. Definitely, he might make some noise if his Ravens team can defend and get back to the Super Bowl, which I don't think they're going to do it this year. So it's going to boil down between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady to be your AFC MVPs. My Super Bowl teams are likely going to be the Packers or the 49ers for the NFC, and for the AFC, it could be the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots to get them back into Super Bowl contention. So those basically are my picks for the season, and hopefully it does go down the way that I think it's going to go down. If you think it's not going to go down the way you think, hey, just post your comments and choose who you think is going to be NFC contenders, or even who's going to be the lowly NFC teams. Who's going to be your MVP? Who you think is going to be your contenders for the Super Bowl playing at MetLife Stadium in New York City? Well, the Meadowlands in this case. So check me out throughout the course of the season. Definitely, this is going to be an unpredictable season. I can't wait. My record was just great last year, and I want it to continue to be the way that it was. So enjoy the games for week one, because definitely there could be some shocks and some surprises. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again down the road.